What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Week 5 recap. 14 games to do. There were some good ones. There were some stinkers. There were some things that happened. You get power rankings for that, of course, for conclusions. But either way, like and subscribe. Hope you enjoy the recap.
Game. Trevor Lawrence had a touchdown drive on his last possession. Looking deep and throw over the middle of Mr. Chanel. Four defenders converge on him, and he comes out of it and breaks up another tackle. And the Woods has got some speed and block down the field inside the 20. He gets a stiff part of
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the final. Sorry for that delay. Either way, we got, starting off with the recap, we got Jets Falcons. Gotta admit, this game was actually a pretty good game for the two teams playing. Actually pretty good. It was in London at 9:30 in the morning. Yeah, it was fun to watch football that early, but I gotta admit, I don't know if I'd want to do that, get up to watch that again, because kind of brutal at times, but hey, it was a game. Either way, Falcons won 27-20. The Jets are now 1-4. The Falcons are 2-3, still at bottom in the NFC South, but they have won. That's a good thing. won a couple games. But then I said for the Jets offense, keep it simple by running the ball and then throwing the ball to the middle and then no turnovers. They did turn over the ball twice. They had a fumble and then a pick. Zach Wilson's interception was a really high throw, and it was an interception. They did run the ball, not really efficiently though. Tevin Coleman couldn't run the ball on one carry, and they kind of just took him out from that. Michael Carter was actually kind of efficient, considering he's a power back. Ty Johnson, not efficient at all. Receiving wise, no one really had a good day. They didn't really have a really good day offensively. Like 20 points, they put up some points. Like it wasn't terrible. I'm giving them a minus. They didn't really have a good game at all. They did put up points, but it was more the fact that they got the good yardage situation, so that's what I'm going to say for them. Like, they got some good returns. Like, Tevin Coleman had one huge return for them. A couple massive returns on the kick return. And then, so it makes sense for that. Then their defense didn't really do much. They didn't get a turnover. I said for them, pressure Matt Ryan, stop the long pass plays over the middle to Hurston Pitts. They didn't really do that. There were some really big plays. They didn't play awful, like, I'll give them an underscore, but they just didn't play a very good game offensively, defensively considering they had against them. They didn't have a sack, they didn't have a pick, they didn't force any turnovers. That's what I'm saying. It's Matt Ryan, though. For the Falcons, I said play smart and capitalize on opportunities. They did that very well. Matt Ryan had a really good game, 33 of 45, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cordell Patterson, got him, he ran the ball pretty well. Mike Davis ran the ball, probably his best game by far this season. Kyle Pitts finally had a good game. Cordell Patterson was explosive. Everyone really had a good game for them. I'm going to give them a plus. Yeah, they probably could have scored more points, but it's not a bad game when you do what they did. Defensively, definitely their best game. They had two sacks and an interception. I said forced turnovers and pressure Wilson. They had forced 2 turnovers and they did pressure Wilson a lot. I'm going to give them an underscore, though, because there were some drives where they struggled stopping the run. They struggled. It was actually kind of more the special teams, but they did have one drive where they really had trouble. They struggled stopping them, and one of them, it was in the red zone really, where it was just like a long run by Michael Carter. That's the only reason they're there. But you know what? I'll give them a plus. The Falcons defense had a good game. I'll give them a plus. The Falcons had a good game defensively. I'll give them a plus. Like, they didn't play a great game, but they played a good enough game. I'll give them a plus. Definitely. Next, we're gonna do is Patriots Texans. Patriots Texans is our next game. This game was Patriots were actually losing this game. Mac Jones, Patriots are 125-22. They're now 2-3, and the Texans are 1-4. It's kind of concerning that they almost lost to the Texans. Texans actually played a pretty good game in the first half. Second half, not so much. I said for the Patriots offense, run the ball and win the possession game. They did win the possession game only by a couple of minutes, and I said run the ball. Yeah, they did run the ball. Not great. I'd say they ran the ball pretty well with almost everyone except for Rondé Stevenson, who just wasn't efficient, but I'm going to give them an underscore. Yeah, they didn't score a ton of points. Mac Jones did throw a pick. He had a good game, though. He was really efficient, 23 of 30, 231 yards, touchdown, interception. Hunter Henry definitely had his best game of the season. Jacoby Myers, same thing. But he had some drops. Nelson Aguilar on a bomb throw that was pass interference. That really helped him win the game. Then we go to the defense for the Patriots. Matt Judon had a really good game, 2 sacks, probably his best game so far. J.K. Collins also had a sack and 1 tackle. But either way, I said shoot the gaps in the run game. They did that pretty well. Forced turnovers, not so much. They had a fumble, but that was it. They didn't do great. I'm gonna give them an underscore. Like, the Texans were kind of able to bully them in the first half. Second half, they played a lot better. So I will give them that. They didn't play bad, but they just didn't play a very good game. But then for the Texans, Davis Mills was 21 of 29, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. What I mean by that is, here's why I gave the Patriots underscore. Here's why. They didn't stink in the whole time. They've really played good in the run game. It was the pass game that they struggled with. Davis Mills was 21 of 29, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. Davis Mills was absolutely amazing. Definitely his best game so far. It wasn't even close. He was hitting everyone who's open. Chris Moore got open a lot. Same with Chris Conley. Brandon Cooks had one really long catch. I'm joking. He got shut down. They focused on stopping him, and as a result, Chris Moore and Chris Conley got open a lot. Yeah, so the Texans obviously run the ball efficiently. They did not do that, but they realized they actually played really well, and they threw the ball. They threw the ball short sometimes. I'm gonna give them an underscore though. They didn't get a plus. It's hard to get a plus if they ran the ball really. Like Mark Ingram and Phil Lindsay did not run the ball well. Same with David Johnson. So you only get with that. You only get that. But then defensively, they actually didn't play that bad. They had a sack and they had a pick. They did force some turnovers. I said for them, play back on third down. They did play back on third down. Sometimes it was good. Sometimes it was bad. I'm gonna give them an underscore. Texans didn't play a bad game. They just didn't play a good game. So yeah, this game was actually pretty good. Patriots definitely should have won bigger, but they didn't. So yeah. Next game is, let this load. The next game is gonna be the Lions and the Vikings. So the Vikings won on a walk-off field goal. The Lions are not a bad football team. Yeah, they're winless. I get that, but they really aren't a bad football team when you look at how many close losses they've had. I'd say they should at least have one win. I'll put it that way. I'd say one or no wins. If they won a game, it wouldn't surprise me. This is not the worst team in the NFL. They're 0-5. The final score was 19-17 on a walk-off kick. The Vikings are not 2-3. The Lions fall to 0-5. But for the Lions, offense had run the ball efficiently and short drives by taking off the clock, and then 10 yards for first down. They did that. Jared Goff wasn't very good. 21 of 35, 23 yards interception. He had some really bad deep balls. DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams actually ran the ball pretty well as a tandem. That was good. They didn't really get anyone involved like tremendously. Like T.J. Hawkinson really got shut down by Eric Hendricks. I'll give them an underscore though. They did make their team have a chance to win. They didn't like absolutely suck, but they just weren't very good. And then for their defense has actually played pretty well to start the season. Like they haven't played good. They've been really good in the red zone. That's what I meant to say. They had 2 sacks, an interception, a couple fumbles. They only recovered 1 though. So the Lions even stopped the run and pressure Cousins in the red zone. They did pressure him really well in the red zone. They got a sack out of it. And then they did not really stop the run though, so that's like the knock on them. I'll give them an underscore though. They held them to 19 points. They gave their team a chance to win. They ended up losing. So yeah. For the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, 25 of 34, 275 yards, touchdown and interception. He was pretty much average. Alexander Madison, 25 for 113. They ran the ball pretty well. Justin Jefferson had his classic old game. Adam Thielen didn't really get open. He had 1 good catch. The other catch was more like a screen pass. Alexander Madison was really good in the receiving game. I'll give them an underscore. They didn't play a great game, but they did win, so I can't really give them a bad game. It's different. Like, yeah, you can see difference for other teams, but they did not play a bad game. They didn't play a good game, just didn't play a bad game. For the defense, they played really well. Harrison Smith had a couple big tackles. They had an interception, 4 sacks. I said for them, shut down the Lions run game. They did that on first. They didn't really do that on first down. First down wasn't really a big play for the. That's what the Lions really stunk. But they didn't really run the ball, so I don't really know what to give them. I'll give them. I'll give them a plus. They played a good game. Like, it was more the fact that the Lions didn't threaten them like I hoped they did. The Lions, you can't give the Lions a minus unless their team is losing because of them. They weren't losing because of them. It was just the fact that the Vikings are a better team. So both teams didn't play a bad game. It's just the fact that the Vikings are a better team than the Lions. Next game, though. This game is a little different. Eagles, Panthers. Yeah, this game was really bad for the Panthers, but they're now 3-2. They have lost 2 straight. Eagles are now 2-3. They won 21-18. Eagles are looking pretty good after a big win, but we'll see. I said run the ball and get an early lead. They did get an early lead. They did try to run the ball. Kind of worked out. They just didn't really run it a lot. Jalen Hurts wasn't really that good. 22 of 37, 198 yards in the interception, but he was really good at running in the red zone. He had 2 nice touchdown runs. But they didn't score 30 plus. Both offenses really struggled. The Carolina defense woke up again. I wouldn't say they played amazing, but they did play a really good game. They actually played a really good game. Devontae Smith had a pretty good game. Dallas got a good game. Zach Ertz was shut down. I'm not giving them a plus. They're getting an underscore because they're playing. Yeah, I get they're playing a good defense, but I can't give them that the way they played. They didn't play a very good game. But then for their defense, that's the reason they won. They had 3 sacks and 3 interceptions, and they also had 2 fumbles. One wasn't recovered and the other wasn't. But I think they had a fumble. I don't know if they did. Whatever. Eagles defense had maintained the run pace in the run game. They did do that pretty well. They didn't give up any big runs at the end of the game or in the beginning of the game. And then they were very aggressive. And then I said be careful because Sam Darnold knew what he was doing. But when they got in the red zone, they pressured Darnold. He couldn't really do much, and he kind of made some dumb decisions. So they're getting a plus. They played a good game. Well, actually, a fantastic game. They only gave 18 points. They had 3 turnovers. Can't really say much else. Then for the Panthers. Sam Darnold finally didn't have a good game. 21 of 37, 177 yards, touchdown, 3 interceptions. Chuba Hubbard ran the ball pretty well, 24, 101 yards. They didn't really get anyone hugely involved. They're getting a minus. They did not play a good game offensively. Not complimentary football. They did run the ball well. They couldn't pass the ball, though. And then defensively, they played a really good game. They had, 2 sacks and a pick. Hassan Reddick is looking just as good as he was last year, maybe even better. They had a lot of guys with a lot of tackles. They get the plus. They had a really good game. 21 points. If you give up that against a good offense in the Eagles, they're gonna get that. The Eagles' offense is no slouch. They're not a bad offense. So yeah, they're gonna get that grade. They get a plus even though the team lost. When you get a plus and a minus, you're usually gonna lose the game, or it's gonna round it somewhere in the middle. That's usually what happens. The Panthers' offense is really bad. Not complimentary. That's what happens. And then for the next game, we're going to Saints Washington. Saints, they won 33-22. This game was on CBS. Saints are now 3-2. They're probably going to lose next week on Sunday Night Football. Not Sunday Night Football. Either way, Washington, they lose. They're now back under 500. I hope they win though. So yeah, for the Saints, obviously run the ball, figure it out, and don't get cute. They did not get cute the whole game. They ran the ball, not a ton of Kamara. Jameis actually had some really big runs for them. Marquez Callaway had a really nice catch. Deontay Harris's one catch was a bomb, which I'm actually fine with because he really just got taken over after that. So they actually realized that. Alvin Kamara had a touchdown in the receiving game. He was a beast. Jameis, as much as he wasn't efficient, he had a lot of deep shots that were incomplete. Yeah, he threw a bad interception on a deep ball. But he had 2 deep ball touchdowns, which is really good. 279 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had the interception, but he was just taking deep shots the whole game. Can't blame him. And I said don't get cute. They really didn't get cute. They just they ran the ball to win the game. Their offense gets a plus. They played a really good game. Jameis, yeah, he threw too many shots, but Washington, the way they're playing right now, I didn't hate it. His approach, but next time probably not. We want to do that. Their defense played really good. They had 2 sacks and 2 interceptions. Demario Davis had a really nice play. I said for them, stop the run and force Heineke into pressured throws. Pressured throws, not really because Heineke actually escaped them a couple times. It was kind of embarrassing. They had a really good game though. I'll give them the plus. The Saints played a really good game of football. As much as the Washington didn't play awful, they just didn't play a good game. Heineke kind of struggled, I gotta admit it. But they were actually pretty good. Like I said, Heineke kind of struggled, 20 of 42, 248 yards, 2 picks. Antonio Gibson was very inefficient, but he did have 2 touchdowns, so that kind of gave him a boost. But Taylor Heineke, like I said, had some big runs. Adam Humphries had a really good game. Terry McLaurin got shut down by Marshawn Lattimore. I'm giving them an underscore. I can't give them a minus. They scored points. They definitely were good in the red zone. And then for the Washington defense, they did not show up. They're getting a minus. They got a pick and 2 sacks. I get that. But it was really because Jameis was waiting for deep shots the whole game. Because after that first bomb, they knew they could have had touchdowns. They did have 1, so that was good. Yeah, Washington's defense has just not been good this year. They've given up 30 points, over 30 points again. It's been really bad. And then our next game is going to be the Titans and Jaguars. Jaguars actually making a run for the Titans' money. They were actually playing pretty good at the first. They actually were coming back, but in the end they didn't win, and now they fall. They're still looking for their first win. Their coach is not good. They're kind of a mess, if you ask me. But then you look at the Titans. They took care of business. They're now 3-2. They're still looking for their first win. 37-19 was your final. I said for the Titans, run the ball and throw to anyone who's schemed open, but most importantly, win the possession game by at least 5 minutes. They ran the ball the whole game with Derrick Henry. I don't know what Jacksonville was doing, but they weren't trying to stack the box, which guess it didn't really work because he absolutely ran over them. 29 for 133 touchdowns. They did scheme it to a lot to Marcus Johnson, who no one really knows. So look out for him. Look out for him. Tannehill, 14 of 22, 7 yards and a touchdown. He didn't have a very bad game. He just didn't throw the ball a lot. So what do you expect? They did win it by like 8 minutes, so I'll give them that. Their offense gets a plus. They scored a lot of points. Derrick Henry ran all over the Jaguars. They scored points any way they could. No turnovers. Really good game for them. The Titans defense plays smart and contained in the red zone runs. Red zone runs weren't a big problem. They had 2 sacks and an interception. This defense has played average so far this year, maybe a little above average. They're looking a little more like 2019. They were really bad to start the season. I think they found their footing, but it's against the Jaguars. I'll give them an underscore. It wasn't absolutely a dominating performance, but definitely a good game. David Long is probably going to be their linebacker of the future, so that's good to know. Trevor Lawrence, 23 of 33, 273 yards, touchdown pick. I said for them, run the ball in the red zone 80% of the time. They didn't really get in the red zone, always inside the 15. But James Robinson looked absolutely phenomenal. They could not stop the run against them. They didn't really run the ball a ton in the red zone, though. That's why Trevor Lawrence threw a pick. They get an underscore. They scored some points. Like, at least they didn't get shut out or something. They didn't play a bad game. They were playing a decent defense. Or, not a decent defense. They scored points. That's all I got to really say. No one, like, it was more everyone got a catch because they had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They had 9 guys who had a catch. That's really good for an offense. So I like that Urban Meyer's doing that, but he's not a good coach. So yeah, for Jags defense, stop the run and play. They did not do that. They just did not play a good game of football. No one really trusted each other. Miles Jack played really bad. I gotta admit, yeah, they had a couple sacks, but Miles Jack did not have a good game. We didn't play bad. He didn't have a good game. Let me just put it that way. He missed a crucial tackle on Derrick Henry that led to a touchdown. Just wasn't a very good game for the Jaguars. Pretty simple. Okay, next game. Dolphins Bucks. This was a really bad game for the Dolphins defense. I think they're good. No, I do not. We're not doing a preview yet. This game. Either way, yeah. The Dolphins are now 1-4. Oh my God. I'm frustrated if you guys haven't known yet. But the Dolphins-Bucks game was kind of a blowout. If I have to state the obvious, it was 45-17. Their defense did not show up. And then for the Bucks, yeah, they scored points. I'll just put it that way. Jacoby Brissett really wasn't that terrible. 27 of 39, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. Myles Gaskin only got 5 carries. He did lead the team in receiving yards. No one else really got open. Jalen Waddle was absolutely shut down. They're getting a minus. They did not play good football. Like, they just couldn't keep up. Like, they tried to. They couldn't really. Like, that's all I really got to say. They didn't really have a chance to, but I'm giving them the minus because it's the only way you're going to get a good, like, it's not that they deserve a minus. It's just that they're getting a minus because of how bad their defense played. Like, their defense, I said, they did not hold them under 20 points. And they did not force turnovers. They got a couple sacks. That's about it. Xavier Howard got cooked. No, Xavier Howard didn't even really get cooked. It was more the inside guys. Yeah, the offense for the Bucks was really good. They ran the ball really well. They passed the ball really well. Tom Brady threw 5 touchdowns. Everyone was involved. It was an absolute thrashing of the offense. Same thing with Bucks defense. You just gotta play decent. Like, they got an interception, 2 sacks. They got a lot of pressure. You know what? I'll give them a plus. They played good football. If the Bucks offense didn't act like that, I really don't know. They thought, like, the run wasn't really a problem. I'm going to give them a plus. The Bucks defense did what they were supposed to. They didn't give up 45 points. They're going to get a plus. It's kind of how the offense though played. The Bucs, that might have been the Bucs' best offensive team so far in their since Tom Brady's come there. Now we go to the game where there were 6 missed field goals. Yes, this game was, no one really wanted to win it. The Bengals though are legit. They're a good football team. The Packers, we already knew they were a good football team. They're now 4-1. The Bengals are 3-2. 25-22 is your final in overtime. Mason Crosby won it. Packers offense had scored on the ground and take shots. They did not score on the ground. They actually ran the ball and then take shots. They took plenty of shots. One of them was an interception. Aaron Rodgers had a really good game. The interception was on a deep shot that was a little controversial, but I won't get into that. 27 of 39, 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. They're going to get a plus. They played good football. Their defense played good football too. It was just their all-around really good game. Just a lot of missed kicks. It was just a really weird game if you didn't have it known. They got 3 sacks, 2 picks. Their defense played really well. I'm gonna give them an underscore though because their corners did not play really well like I expected. But Joe Burrow had a pretty good game. 26 of 38, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Samaje Perine ran the ball really well. Joe Mixon was stuffed in the backfield on every snap except for the touchdown. Jamar Chase was absolutely explosive. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd weren't really targeted. Yeah, they're going to get it. Honestly, the Bengals are getting an underscore. They probably should have won the game. Like, they should have won the game. They have a really good kicker, but still, he just choked. Their defense had 2 sacks and interception. They're also getting an underscore. They didn't play a bad game. Like, if you haven't seen Devontae Adams, had 11 catches for 206 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, he had a really big game. Their defense didn't play great, but they definitely didn't play well enough for them to win. That's pretty much it. If this thing will load. Yeah, sorry, this is just really bad. Okay, Broncos Steelers. Broncos lost. They're now 3-2. Final score is 27-19. The Steelers are now 2-3 in the season. Staying alive. They put up points this week. They didn't play awful. They just didn't play great. But then for the Broncos offense, they keep the quarterback comfortable with good production, run game, and simple short passing. Teddy Bridgewater threw a bad interception, but other than that, I'd say they played a pretty good game offensively. 24 of 30, 280 yards and 2 touchdowns, interception. The problem was they tried to run the ball with Melvin Gordon and not Javonte Williams, and as that was the problem. Corley Sutton showed up. Tim Patrick did. Definitely Dwayne Sutton's best game. Other than that, the receivers didn't really do much. I'm giving them an underscore. They were playing a good team. They just didn't really. They just didn't play a great game of football. They scored some points. They were playing a really good defense. Yes, the Steelers' defense is not bad. And their defense did not show up. They did not, they were playing a bad offense, and they just decided, I don't want to play today. No, literally, that's literally how they played. And then for the defense, Broncos defense dominate the line of scrimmage. They did not dominate the line of scrimmage. They did get a sack. That's about it. They didn't do much else. They were pounding the line of scrimmage a little. They were not playing good. They're getting a minus. They did not play good football. Big Ben is not a good quarterback. He's not terrible, but look at those numbers. 15 of 25, 253 yards and 2 touchdowns. When Najee runs the ball really well, they win games. 2,322 yards and a touchdown. They kind of got chucked around. Chase Claypool had a big game. Deontay Johnson was their deep threat. Juju got hurt. I said run the ball somewhat efficiently. Yeah, they did that. They're getting a plus. 27 points is really good for this offense, considering that their defense is actually really good. Keep the offense in the game by forcing turnovers. Yeah, they got a pick. They got 2 sacks. They didn't have to be that amazing, but they played a really good game, so they're getting a plus 2. Hold a team under 20 points and you get turnovers, you're going to get a good grade almost every time. Unless there's like 50 misplays, like kind of like the Vikings-Browns game from last week. Either way, next game is going to be Bears-Raiders. The Raiders absolutely laid an egg. Maybe it was because of John Gruden's situation. We won't get into that though. But the Bears are now 3-2. They have a winning record. They won 20-9. Raiders, they're now 3-2. They've lost 2 straight. But it was not because of the offense. I said Bears offense scored 20+ points, control the clock and through the run game. Yeah, they did. They did control the clock through the run game. They ran the ball really well. Justin Fields did not throw the ball a lot, and when he did, it was underneath. Andy Dalton came in for one play, and he threw a magnificent 8-yard easy completion. Khalil Herbert was absolutely a monster. Same with Damian Williams. No one really caught the ball, though. I cannot give him a plus. You know what? They do get a plus, because it's the Bears' offense. The Bears' offense, they basically followed what I told them. Put up some points, control the clock, you're gonna be good. Their defense is the reason they won the game. Let's see how many sacks they go. 1, 2. They only got 2 sacks. Yeah, they got 2 sacks and a pick. But it was like nothing. The Raiders could not do anything on offense. And the Bears defense, I said, shut down the long plays and pressure Carr. They did everything. The Raiders defense was really good. Derek Carr could throw the ball relatively not good, really, if you want to use 22-35. 206 yards interception. I said, protect Carr and take shots to Waller and Ruggs run the ball. They tried to run the ball. It was really bad. Waller didn't really get open a ton. I'm joking. He got open a lot, but no, he just got shut down. Henry Ruggs, they tried to go deep to him once. It did not end well. Derek Carr got a concussion. If you haven't finished, haven't noticed. And then I said take shots to Waller. They didn't have a good game. They're getting a minus. They just didn't have a good game. Pretty simple. Raiders defense action played too terrible. They had 2 sacks. They just didn't didn't really stop the run great. I'm gonna give them an underscore. They didn't get up against a bad offense. If you get lit up by a bad offense, there's something wrong. They only gave up 20 points. They're not the reason they lost. They're just their offense was putrid. Next game was definitely the best game of the weekend. I don't even think it's close. It's really not even close. It was the Browns-Chargers game. Chargers are 4-1. They're on top of the AFC West, like by themselves. The Browns are 3-2. The Browns even gave up 47 points, but they scored 42. For the Browns, obviously, run the ball and and Baker has to make throws. He made every throw they told him to. 23 of 32, 305 yards touchdown. Baker was on point. He threw to David Njoku a lot. They ran the ball, like, better than you can run the ball. Like, they just ran the ball. They ran all over the Chargers defense. They're getting a plus. They put up 42. I don't know what you want to say. But the defense gets a minus. Pretty simple. Shut down the run game and pressure Herbert. Yeah, they got 2 sacks. They didn't do anything else, though. It was like Justin Herbert threw for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns on 26 of 43. They didn't really run the ball as great as you'd expect, but this is actually a little deceiving. Yeah, Mike Williams had a really good game. Yeah, that's an understatement. Keenan Allen had a good game. They just threw it around the yard. Everyone had a good game for their offense. Defensively, yeah, they did not stop the run. They get a -2. So, yeah, it was basically a shootout. It's whatever team scores more points. And, yeah, both offenses got pluses. Both defenses get minuses. Because you can't give a defense a plus when they give up 40+ points. That just never happens. Sorry, but that's just the truth. You can't give up that many points. On either side of the football. Like, as a defensive coordinator, you do not say your team had a good game if you win the game and your defense gave up 40 points. Yeah, that's the Chargers need to work on that. The next game was America's Game of the Week, which was not America's Game of the Week because it was literally Daniel Jones got hurt in the second quarter and Saquon got hurt because he put his foot out for a guy to step on. It's for him to roll his ankle. So yeah, just don't look at that. Daniel Jones started off over 5, so just look at those numbers and like think of that. The Giants offense, I said, run the ball with Saquon early. They couldn't really do that. They're gonna get an underscore. Like they put up some points. Like Mike Glennon was pretty bad, other than the touchdown he threw. He did throw the ball around the yard pretty well. Kadarius Toney was elite. They did what they could. Their defense was actually not that terrible. They had two sacks and an interception. Probably could have had 2 interceptions. They're getting an underscore too. They did not give up 44 points. It was more like, let's see, 7 points. They gave like 30 points, and it was against a really good offense. Cowboys offense, not gonna lie, they get a plus. They put up a lot of points. Zeke had a really good game. Dak, other than the interception, was really good. CD had no one really had a cute monster game. Everyone had a good game. I'm not letting the Cowboys defense get away from it. I'm gonna give them an underscore. They played okay. But they didn't play good enough where I thought yeah, that team was really good. They did not play like that. Their defense wasn't great. It was decent, just they gave a lot of passing yards. Next game is 49ers Cardinals. 49ers defense found a solution. Basically, it's this. Force turnovers against this offense because they're gonna make mistakes every once in a while. Yeah, but they ended up losing. They had a rookie quarterback starting. If you haven't known, they fell to 2-3. A very good 2-3. They lost 17-10. Cardinals are undefeated at 5-0. 49ers offense run the ball 30+ points. Yeah, they did run the ball. Not really a lot. Trey Lance ran the ball like he looked like Lamar. I'm joking. He's not Lamar Jackson. Eli Mitchell had a good game. Trey Sermon only had 1 carry. I don't know what the heck they were thinking with that one. They're getting an underscore though. Trey Lance in the pass game was very bad, but they ran the ball kind of well. Their offense did not play very well at all. But Trey, it's their rookie quarterback. At least they didn't get shut out. I'm gonna give them an underscore. They probably don't deserve it, but they ran the ball kind of well. It was just they couldn't really capitalize and everything. They're gonna get the underscore though because they weren't dominated or anything. Trey Lance was 15 of 29, 192 yards, interception. What I expected from him. Not a great game. But their defense gets an absolute plus. Hats off to them. They absolutely shut down the offense in the first half. They played a really good game of football. They had 2 sacks, no interceptions, but they played really good football. No big yardage plays. Good game of football. Cardinals offense underscore, yeah. They don't get a minus. They only had one. They had 1 turnover. They didn't really run the ball really well. That was their problem. Kyler Murray got pressured a lot. He was 22 of 31, 239 yards, touchdown. Nuke had a good game. They didn't suck. They just weren't good. Cardinals defense though, they get a plus. They only give 10 points. That's all I really have to say. And now go to the game that I actually want to talk about. The Sunday Night Football. Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL. They solidified it. They blew out the Chiefs. It was a blowout. If you haven't noticed, it wasn't absolutely awful. The Chiefs are just a mess right now. The Bills are now 4-1. They're now under 500 for the second time this season at 2-3. Bills, they get 2 pluses. The Bills offense played really well. Josh Allen didn't have to throw the ball a ton. They ran the ball really well with Josh Allen. Not really with they just play good football. The Chiefs offense did not play well. Their defense is hot garbage. Josh Allen, 15 of 26, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen ran the ball pretty well today. That was about it. Dawson Knox had a couple of huge catches. He had 1 long touchdown. Stephon Diggs had a couple of big catches. Defensively, they dominated the Chiefs. They had two picks off Mahomes and a fumble recovery. Mahomes was turnover prone, to say the least. He led them in rushing. He got pressured almost every down. He's 23 of 54, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. The 1 interception was a pick 6 that shouldn't have been. The other one was absolutely he got crushed. Ended up being a pick. Patrick Mahomes cannot throw interceptions for the NBA. He has to be perfect every week, which starts with next week against Washington. The Chiefs are in trouble. Their defense stinks. Yeah. So all I really have to say, they're playing a really good team. They got blown out at home. Kind of humiliating. Like, subscribe. That's the end of the recap. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, see you for the Monday Night Football recap and Power Rankings tomorrow.